Hey, welcome to lecture number 4 in the elemental sounds of German. In this lecture, we're going to focus on the tricky consonants. So, fricatives, if you remember from the last lecture, is a manner of articulation defined by when the two articulators come into physical contact with one another, but unlike a stop consonant, where it's so tight that air has to build up pressure behind it, the fricative, the air kind of squeezes through a small channel in between, so and that's the kind of sound you make. So there are a lot of fricatives in German, a lot of fricatives in English. We have the sh, which went over last time. That's the palato-alveolar fricative from Stunde, Schlafen, Straße. The ch, which is the palatal fricative from ich, fertig, nicht. And the ch, which is the velar fricative from machen, doch, kochen. And r, from the uvular fricative from rot, trotzdem, krass. These are sounds that I hear very often German learners confusing a lot. So by the end of this lecture, you should be able to have a clear, at least conceptual differentiation between these sounds. And with that, of course, develop your ability to hear the differences and pronounce the differences. Voiceless palatal fricative. So notice this is point number 4, the middle part of the tongue reaching up to the hard palate, even deeper in the mouth than the previous sh sound. So you're using a different part of the tongue in contact with a different part of the roof of the mouth, a bit deeper part for both. So it should feel different from your tongue and feel different in the top of the mouth. You're going to see this sound in words like ich, fertig, nicht. In terms of German spelling, you'll see it whenever you have the letter, not whenever, but sometimes when you have the word ch, the letters ch, and sometimes with the letter g, but not all the time. Once again, I always emphasize that spelling should be learned after you've already commanded the sounds, because spelling can confuse you. You might see a ch like, oh, that must be like the sound from machen. No, it's different all the time depending on context. So ich, fertig, nicht. So this sound is made middle part of the tongue, moving up to the hard palate. Once again, different from the sh. It's a different part of the tongue. You can locate this place of articulation through the palatal approximant. So that's a typo, approximant. They always autocorrect me on that. But the way I discovered and first got this sound when I started learning German, once again, I looked at the name of the sound and I said, oh, palatal fricative. Well, what's a palatal sound? I know. The palatal approximant. This is the y sound from youth, young, yours, you, yeah. Yeah. I say, okay, so that's a palatal approximant. That means point number 4 is coming up to the hard palate, but not actually making contact. It's going, yeah, yeah. Therefore, to make it a fricative, because by definition, fricative is when they do make contact, all I got to do is make the yes sound and then move my tongue slightly up until it touches. And what I'm doing here is this top hand's like my hard palate, roof of my mouth. This is my tongue here, and I'm going. In fact, I can do it backwards so that you this way. So this is my tongue, tip of the tongue, middle part of the tongue right here, and this is the roof of my mouth, my hard palate. I'm going yee, 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 right? But I want to make it touch yee. So you should be able to hear when I touch, it turns into a fricative sound. However, the palatal approximant is voiced. So I need to turn off my voice once I get up there. And that is how I discovered and how I located the palatal fricative for myself. And I recommend you do the same thing because we don't have this sound in German, in English. And once again, I want you to realize how I did that through a conceptual understanding. I was able to troubleshoot my own pronunciation because I understood that the mouth is mechanical and I understood the basic principles of those, mouth mechanics. So that's once again one of the major goals of this course. Anyways, so we have this sound. This sound is one of the trickiest consonants for you to master. For me, it didn't take too long to get the sound. What's really tricky with this sound is combining it with other sounds. So you want to go through, all the different vowels. Like, what I recommend doing is going through the vowels and placing this sound on either side of it. It's either hyach, hich, huch, hiech, huch, hiech, hia, huch. Just go through all those vowels And until you're comfortable making this sound in different contexts, then the really tricky thing is putting this next to different consonant sounds, like sht, like in nisht. That was very tricky for me, nisht. So I had to practice that. The best way to practice consonant transitions or consonant clusters is to say the first sound, put some space in between, then make the next. Nisht, nisht. All right, so that's how you do that. So once again, most important thing here though is to differentiate this from the sh, because I find many German learners will replace this sound with the palatal alveolar fricative sh, which is a different sound. So instead of saying ich, fertig, nicht, they'll say ich, fertig, nicht.